There's no better way to get better at football than playing football. So if you want to,
Taylor's going to finish it.
I've always been confident in my abilities. I think, I'm a guy that can go out there, and I always believe in myself that I'm going to get open and make the play if they throw me the ball.
The third. Ryan, end zone shot for Pierce. He caught it. Oh, what a...
There's no better way than getting better at football than playing football. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast. We're here to talk about everything and anything Indianapolis Colts. Here's Jamal Lawrence, and I'm Eric Smith, your co-host of the Colts Cast. I'm officially back, guys. I know you got Jamal for a little bit. I know y'all missed me. I'm back. We back.
Dude's been in Bora Bora for the past week. Tell me about it. How was it? How was the sun?
It was great. I went up to New Jersey for a little bit. Look, everybody, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts. Colts Nation, this is the best way to support us as it gets our video out to other passionate Colts fans just like yourself, and it's completely free. All right. Just, I quoted Jonathan Taylor there. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Main subject, Indianapolis Colts running back Jonathan Taylor has emerged from the shadows, speaking to the media after a long offseason in rehab. We're going to go over what he said, what was not said, and what it all means in the grand scheme of things. Jamal, I'm going to start off by saying Jonathan Taylor still doesn't want to be a Colt. I said it on Twitter. I want everyone to understand that he's going to play, and he's super excited to be back, but I think he prefers not to be on the Indianapolis Colts. He got asked a lot of direct questions. Are you committed to the organization? Do you still want to be a Colt? And sidestepped all of them. What are your thoughts? Because that's what I truly believe. If he had to pick whether to be an Indianapolis Colt or any of the 31 other NFL teams, I think he picks that just at this situation, at this time. I'm not going to say this relationship is not repairable, but he wants his money, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He wants it. Yeah.
So tell me what you thought of the presser.
I'll go ahead and bring all the Colts fans back in. I know Eric probably kind of lost you there for a second. You're probably still scratching your head, wondering what Eric is talking about. But Eric's wrong. I'll just say that. Jonathan Taylor, listen, he's not dumb. He's not dumb here. There is no good or bad reason at this point to say that he wants the contract. I would sidestep those questions as well. Number one, he's in a bind right now. He doesn't have a choice but to play. JT has to come out here and play.
I agree.
And if he were to sit here and say, if he were to tell everybody in Colts Nation today that he wanted to be here, people would expect him to take whatever the Colts give him, no matter what, no matter how he plays this season. If they offer him this amount of money, well, you should be grateful they're offering you this money. You should be grateful they're offering you a new contract. But if he doesn't say anything, then he still looks like the bad guy that he's been all offseason long, where it's like, well, he still doesn't want to be here. But, I always like to say with that, you got to think about it has to play. You have to play both sides of this, because when Ballard was during all of Ballard's pressers, where he talked about how he didn't want to give any money, they haven't given any contract. I'm not answering this question. I'm answering that question. There's no talk about how much, Ballard doesn't want JT here. People are like, oh no, that's just a formality. We have to just understand that it's a work in progress. But JT doesn't give a clear answer whether he wants to be here or not. And people immediately think that, oh, he doesn't want to be here. I think that he would back himself into a really, really, really bad corner if he would have just straight up said, yeah, I want to be here. Now, does he want to be here long term? That is still up. That's up for grabs. I don't know. I think that he has to weigh out all his options. I think that, of course, as we all know, over these next 13 games we have left, I guess, we'll have to figure out whether or not he's going to put up the stats to where the Colts will want to extend him or not. And then we're going to think about the fact that if for whatever reason he has this crazy breakout season, I shouldn't say breakout season, but a similar to 2021 season for what it's worth, what if the Colts offer him all the money he wants? Does he say, I'm going to leave the Colts and not take this money, but take a lesser amount someplace else? Because then he's going to be a Colt for life,
He takes the bag.
Yeah, which I think I would too. I think that it's just the most frustrating part of all of it to me, and it has nothing to do with what you said, Eric. But it's frustrating to me that people are still not willing to understand what's going on and why. I mean, every time we talk about JT, well, I shouldn't say we. Anytime a reporter talks about JT and what he's done, the first thing they always bring up, well, he had a subpar season for 2022. It was the worst season of his career. Blah blah blah. It was probably one of the third worst seasons in Colts history.
Correct.
So it's like I'm tired of hearing about how one player had a bad season, but we negate the fact that the offense line had a bad season, the quarterback had a bad season, the receivers had a bad season, the defensive line, the linebackers, the safeties, the cornerbacks. I guess the cornerbacks had a decent season. Gilmore killed it, but besides that, I mean, there's no one on this squad. Frank Wright had a bad season. That's why he's gone. Everybody had a bad season. Chris Ballard had a bad season. He should have been gone. But the thing is people holding towards JT because he didn't produce, 1,800 yards rushing with 18 touchdowns, and they're trying to say that, hey, we don't want you to be here. And then one more thing, and I'll let you go because I know I've been talking for a little bit. But I was listening to Pat McAfee's show today. He was literally, just saying how, when all this first started, the first thing he thought was, I want him traded. I want him traded. I want him traded. Him, just like every other reporter and 95% of fans, all they wanted was Jonathan Taylor to be traded. But now that he's officially said, hey, he's happy, he's back, whatever the case. He didn't say he wants to be with the Colts, but he said he's happy. He's back. Oh my gosh, it's just gonna go so crazy if he pops one off. I just can't wait to see Jonathan Taylor. Don't be fake. Don't be fake. Either hate the man or like the man.
They've expunged his record in their mind.
That's BS. I gotta call your bluff on that, because how are you gonna sit here and say, for 3 months you wanted nothing to do with this dude? You basically hope he could crash and burn and you wouldn't care less. What did Jim Irsay say? He could be off team, he could die, whatever he said. The show is going to keep on rolling. Like, nothing's going to change. So I think that I just have a hard time like listening to people still, or like flip flop, or still try to spin the negative like throughout this. I mean, I even looked at some quotes. And I'm not going to call any other names. I just used McAfee because I was watching the show today, but I'm not going to call any names on some of these reporters who did this. But some are local, some weren't. And one of the tweets said, Taylor asked if he wants to be a Colt. And then their tweet said, I'm here right now, ... Then the next reporter posted the same thing. Taylor asked if he wanted to be a Colt. And then the reporter said, I'm here right now. And my number one thing is to take care of my teammates. What the city needs is a championship. And that's what I'm here to do. So it's just so frustrating when people are just spinning whatever they want. They cut out a paragraph of what he said just to put the I'm here right now. And they didn't listen to anything else that was said out of that. All they heard was I'm here right now, and not the fact that he wants to be a Colt. They missed the part about him wanting to bring a championship here. Missed the part about him wanting to take care of his teammates not being number one. Missed the part of him about being healthy. All they heard was I'm here right now, and immediately said he don't want to be here anymore. So I just have a hard time with it, man. I just can't flake like that.
I watched the whole presser, and from what I got, I mean, it didn't seem like it seemed he came in there with a script and he had to answer those questions professionally, like you said. Yep. Like, he can't sit there. He can't publicly state he wants out of Indianapolis. I guess you could say the same thing, that he can't say I want in. Maybe that does affect his leverage. But then again, how much leverage does he really have in this running back market? But I just thought he wasn't answering many questions directly. Now, granted, he did get asked the same question in a different manner a bunch of times by the reporters. But I watched the presser. I wasn't too excited. If we're being completely honest, it seems like he's going to do what he has to do. Like you said, business is business. He's going to play for the Colts until he doesn't have to. This is his last year. Let's say he plays through the last year and we decide not to extend him. I don't know. There's just, what should the Colts do? I think if he's healthy, you definitely extend him. Like, I love Jonathan Taylor. I love what he brings to the table. He's a different type of talent in the backfield. But then again, if you're Indianapolis, you have no intention of signing him. I'm all on board for trading if that's the case. If you do not want to extend him, get a little return on investment and let's move on. It's that simple. Now, again, I will say this again and again. I do not want Jonathan Taylor traded. But Jamal, I'm not flip-flopping on my stance.
Oh, I know you're not.
I think in the very end, it seems like, I mean, just a week ago, we were talking about trade rumors again. Now we want a high second round pick. It went from first round to second round pick. So they're obviously not getting anything for him, and they're still fishing. They're still trading. Chris Ballard's doing his due diligence. Trade deadline's what, end of October?
Yeah.
We got a few weeks. We don't know what's going to happen. But for Jonathan Taylor's situation, the best thing he can do right now is to show how valuable he is. So his stock could rise, it could fall this month, but the ball is in his court for that part. I wish we could put everything behind us, sign him, move on to get him better, because this team looks electric at times. But, it's not that simple. So it'll be interesting to see what happens up until the trade deadline. I'm ready to see this AR-JT potential deadly combo. Hopefully we see it this weekend against the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Will we? I don't know. He only went through, I think, walkthroughs yesterday. I guess he's got to get some full practice in to get back up to that game speed you were talking about the last episode. He hasn't, I think it's been almost 300 days where he hasn't really done anything besides work out. He hasn't been padded and stuff like that. He's got to get back into shape. We don't want him to get back out there and re-injure himself. But yeah, my stance is still clear. I don't think he wants to be a Colt. I could be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. I'm not delusional. I'm cool with that. But what I got from that was he still doesn't want to be a Colt, but he's doing this in a professional way. And he's got to get out there and play. He's definitely got to get out there and play. His number one priority is his health. And he told us that many, many times while dodging the other questions. But I don't know. I think a glimpse of, I'm committed to this organization would have been music to my ears. But, he didn't even say that. And he's still on contract with us on his last year. So that's how I feel, Jamal. And I understand you got your feelings about it. And I hope you're right in the end, but I got to trust my gut on this one.
No, I feel you on that, dog. And that's just the reality of it. And I think that's the fun part about having, two opposing sides and seeing like a torn, it sucks to have the Colts community torn, but I get it. I completely get it. And like you said, I mean, JT's a smooth talker. He kept it very PC. I mean, he's a very PR guy ever since he came. I mean, he's been a smooth talker since the first time I heard him speak on the NFL level. So whoever's on his team, not discrediting him at all, but whoever's on his team, make sure that like his ducks are in a row. You know what I mean? But also with that, I do think it's very hard. Like, I don't know if I could, as a person, be willing to commit to say that I don't know the exact verb you said, but basically commit to this team and say that I'm here for the long haul when the team isn't even giving me anything to say that they're here to commit to. Because just to be clear, Chris Ballard said that they have not offered him anything. They couldn't even lowball him and say, hey, we want to set you up for a 3-year, $10 million deal. You can at least lowball him and disrespect him. I think it's more disrespectful to not even give anything, but then expect him to say, I'm all in for the Indianapolis Colts. I want to be here for my life. But the team is making it clear that, well, we don't want to give anybody any money because the team sucked last year. We won 4 games last year.
Okay, 2 things to that. One, Michael Pittman is on his last year, and he's not worried about contract.
He knows he's going to get paid. Receivers get paid. He knows he's going to get paid.
Receivers do get paid. He doesn't know. Receivers get paid. Might not be the team he plays for in the end, which is Indianapolis. He could get paid by another team.
That's true.
2, Jonathan Taylor did say he was all in, almost a year back. And he says, I'm not worried about contract situations right now. I'm going to play my year out.
Sure.
So really, he went back on that. And we all know the debacle that went down with his agent and stuff like that. So I know the running back position, it's in shambles right now. So I understand his need for a contract. I would want one too. But he did go back on that word. So
I agree. I agree with that. And Michael Pittman put up a subpar season last year, but he still knows he's going to get paid this upcoming year from the Colts. You know what I mean? So it's like I think it's
We
hard
don't
to
know
say.
that. We don't know that.
We
I
don't
think
know.
he,
You're right. You're right. You're
he
right.
will
You're
get
right.
paid.
You're right.
He
You're
will
right. We
get
don't
paid.
know that.
But I don't know if he'll get paid what he wants from Indianapolis. They might have other plans. Like
They may.
I've seen teams they'll just reset on the wide receiver. They'll take a shot in the draft, take that rookie contract instead of paying it. But I'm not a big fan of that. We know what Michael Pittman's about. He's kind of shown me that he can be a wide receiver one on this team. So, but I'm not. He's not guaranteed.
That's true.
A
That's
lucrative
true.
contract from Indianapolis. Don't get it twisted.
That's true. No, that's a good point. I can't fight you on that. He is not guaranteed. I just think that it's a little bit different. Like in a position where Michael Pittman knows that, like you said, the wide receivers aren't hurting when you have these other guys getting contract or record breaking contracts year after year. I wouldn't lose any sleep at night. But when if I'm a running back and I know that Saquon's having to bow down to
Nick Chubb just went out.
Exactly. Like I'm not.
Eckler's having issues. It's
tough.
It is a different situation, but I guess that situation did change when the running back market was getting shaky. I mean, it was already shaky, but it got shakier.
Yeah,
and tensions was rising. So maybe he did change his position, but 9 months ago he was committed to this organization.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think the only other thing that I'll be curious to know, and I guess we will never, ever know this just based off what happened. But I wonder what would have happened, like if the Colts would have had a 7-8 win season, even if JT would have gotten hurt, with the season not in shambles, would the Colts have entertained a early extension, or would they have said no? Hey, we're not doing this at all. Again, I know we will never ever know, but I just think that like the Colts, and when I say the Colts, I mean I don't really take anything Jim Irsay says serious because he knows how to make sausage, or he doesn't know how to make sausage. He knows how to build a football team. But Chris Ballard, on the other hand, I always have to just like, I gotta, me and him, we just don't see eye to eye, and everybody knows that. We never will. But like, I think it just pisses me off because, again, like I hate to keep referring back to him, but if JT were if he would have pulled a Chris Ballard and got pissy at the end of the thing, he could have just said, well, the Colts sucked last year, so why would I want to stay here? You know what I mean? That's what Ballard said at the end of his contract. I mean, at the end of his presser, he said the Colts suck. We went 4 games. Why would I extend anybody? JT could have said, well, the Colts suck. Why would I want to stay here for the rest of my career? And people would have lost their minds. They would have absolutely went crazy. But he came out there with a smile, whether it was fake or not. He came out there with a smile. He answered the questions about, hey, it took this long for him to get healthy. He just tried to keep it straight with that. Everybody knew he wasn't going to answer any questions about contract and all that. I know it's their jobs to ask those questions, but like, don't try to beat the dude up because you asked him questions and he didn't give you the answer you wanted. He tried to keep it cordial and as quote happy as he could, versus your GM who got all shitty and like threw a temper tantrum and ended on a sour note. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And I know the positions are completely different, but it's just hard for me whenever I think about how we can pick and choose what we accept and what we don't accept. And I think people are not willing to accept the fact that JT is a human and he wants money, he wants to get paid, but it's not what other people want because they think that just because of, whatever happened, that he shouldn't get paid. When we paid Matt Ryan all this money, we paid Wentz all this money, we paid Rivers all this money, we paid Luck all this money. We paid all these
quarterback.
People.
Oh my god.
It doesn't. And because I'm not going to compare him to Edge or any of these guys because people say what they want to. I know, like everyone said overtime. Well, we traded Edge, that was no problem. It was still a championship caliber team. When we traded Edge, you still had Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, that was Clark, Peyton Manning. Like you had all the weapons around them. So I don't want to hear that BS about you traded your best player and you picked up somebody out the draft and it was fine. But because there are plenty of other people on that team who are playmakers right now, we still are building this team up to what it can be. So you can't compare the two. That's why I use quarterbacks and not running backs in that situation. But anywho, neither here nor there. I think it's an interesting debacle. I'm going to stand by what I said. I think JT would come out here and he has to ball out. Like we said earlier, he doesn't have a choice to ball out because if he wants to get paid, whether it be from the Colts or any other team, he doesn't have a choice but to go out there and show teams he's still got it. He can still put, he's still got gas in the tank. So I think he comes out, makes a statement, if people can't get all pissy, if he doesn't want to talk post game and all the other stuff, he's not all friendly and happy like he normally is. Because like I said earlier, guys, you can't get mad if he doesn't do what you want because of what you want. It just doesn't work like that. These guys don't have any obligations to do anything. They can go out there and talk and do their thing, but he doesn't have to be the face of the team anymore with Richardson here and all these other guys. He can be who he wants to be now. So,
yeah, I ain't got nothing to say to that.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Look at that full-blown reaction to the Jonathan Taylor presser. Guys and gals, let us know what you think in the comments. That's going to be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We are live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. Next time, we will be back to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Y'all take care.
Take care.